Hello, I am here to talk to you today about vendors and jobbers for my school library. Here are the categories I will be using to make my library purchases. So, for purchasing books in my library, the first vendor I would use is Foliate, which is what my current school library uses. It's so easy to use and so easy to purchase books through Foliate. And they offer so many different options and availability for printed books. So, easy vendor to use. Highly recommend. The next one I would use is called Baker and Taylor. Baker and Taylor also has a ton of different options for books you can purchase. And I particularly like them because they have diversity collections. So if you're looking to diversify your library, Baker and Taylor would be a great vendor to use. And lastly, I would use Permabound because they have really strong bindings. So it's a great cost effective vendor to use because you're hopefully going to have to purchase less books because of their strong bindings. The books will last longer. So, great way to cost effectively buy books for your library. So, for furniture in my library, the first vendor I would use is Library Furniture International, which offers everything from furniture you could possibly need in your library, from shelving to seating to even checkout desks. I think Library Furniture International is a great way to buy essentials for your classroom in the furniture. The second vendor I would use is Demco. Demco has a lot of really cool, more modern, flexible seating options for the library, also from shelving all the way to seating. What I would really use Demco for my library is in the seating options. They have lots of options in couches and chairs that I really liked. And the third vendor I would use is called Paragon Furniture. Similar to Demco, Paragon Furniture has a lot of the more modern and flexible options for the library, but I really liked the shelving options that they provided. They have lots of cool movable or double-sided display shelving options. So, between these three vendors, you could absolutely find everything you need furniture-wise for your library. So next for my makerspace materials, the first vendor I would use is called Mackin. I think I'm saying that correct. Mackin has a lot of really cool options for your makerspace in the form of kits, and they also have some coding options like robotics and things. So Mackin is a great place where you can align with curriculum and find what kind of kit you specifically want to use for the makerspace, and get those kits going. The next vendor I would use is Hand to Mind. Similar to Mackin, Hand to Mind has a lot of really awesome kits. You can purchase STEM kits. And what I also really liked about Hand to Mind is they have, well, for a more expensive price, of course, but large carts. So they're movable, that come with task cards and things like that, which is a really awesome way to incorporate makerspace that could really be movable across the library if you didn't have a specific place to put it in. And again, lots of STEM kits available from Hand to Mind as well. And then the third vendor I would use is called Discount School Supply. Discount School Supply, as you can tell in the name, does come at a cheaper price, but they also offer a ton of different supplies that you could put into your makerspace. So less geared towards STEM kits and things like that, but more so where I would purchase supplies to put within the makerspace that kids are using in their creations. But between all three of these vendors, you could find a ton of different options of things that you can use to create a functioning and purposeful makerspace. Next up for technology tools, the first vendor I would work with is called Capstone. Capstone is known for their online digital program Pebble Go, which is used for researching. So, great way to incorporate literacy and research skills you can teach within the library, specifically geared to younger readers, but they also offer Pebble Go Next for third through fifth grade. So, using Capstone, you could absolutely find ways to incorporate that for all of the grade levels. The next vendor I would use is called Overdrive. Overdrive provides the Sora reading app. So, great way to find digital books and ebooks for students at a very user friendly way. So, students can access Sora to read online. And the third vendor I would use is called EBSCO, which is known for their online digital program EBSCO Host. Again, lots of ebook options, digital reading offered to students through EBSCO. And lastly, for supplies and decor, the first vendor I would use is called Broad Art. Broad Art is really cool because it offers different murals and wall art that you can use to decorate your library. So I think this would be a great company and vendor to use if you want to make your library space more inviting, more colorful, and exciting for kids to come to. The next vendor I would use is called the library store. The library store has any kind of library supply you might need, as particularly in organizational ways to make your library a more easily movable and functional place for students. And then the last vendor I would use is called Juniper Custom. Juniper Custom is a really cool vendor because you can make custom orders for book displays. So if you had a particular event coming up or certain books that you're trying to advertise through the library, you could work with Juniper Custom to make custom displays in the library. So all of these are great resources to elevate your library to a more inviting and fun place to be in. So the first thing I would purchase for my library is the Dogman book series by Permabound because my school really lacks in graphic novels. So I think the Dogman series would be a great way for reluctant readers to be excited and interested in checking out books within the library. For furniture, I would purchase these Rome mobile seats by Demco. I really like these stools because they offer, flexible seating in the sense that it is a stool on wheels that can be moved, but it also has a little tabletop, which offers just a lot of possibilities for use. So students could use these to read on, they could use them to complete work on, or even if the librarian was giving a presentation, they could be taking notes, things like that. So I think these mobile seats offer a ton of different possibilities. So I would purchase 4 of them to get started with that flexible seating option. My school library unfortunately does not have a makerspace, so I would purchase the STEM Lab Makerspace cart by Hand to Mind to start a makerspace at my school because it's offered usable for grades K through 5. So there would be some way to incorporate this for all of the grades at my school, and I think it would be just a great way to get the makerspace started and get kids used to creation and things like that with the STEM activities offered throughout the cart. For technology, I would absolutely purchase a PebbleGo subscription by Capstone. PebbleGo is a great way to get kids engaged in literacy through research, and it also includes videos and images. My students love PebbleGo, so I would definitely purchase that year subscription for them. For supplies, the first thing I would purchase for my school is 2 new sets of shelf markers by the library store. My school seems to always be running out of shelf markers or just not have enough for all of the students to be using a shelf marker during checkout time. So I would definitely buy some more since shelf markers really help to make sure students are putting the books back in the right places and keeping track of where they are in the library. I think this really helps with effectively checking out books. And the last thing I would purchase in the decor realm is this Bright Beginning stem wall. It's an activity pegboard by the library store. And I would place this in the makerspace of my library so that students could use it for creation while also decorating the library at the same time. So it kind of serves two purposes. I think it's a great way to extend learning and create images that could relate to books that are used or lessons taught in the library. So here's my budget listed out. You can see of all the things I purchased, my total comes to $9,962.29. So just below the $10,000 budget. Here are my references showing all of the different vendors that were used. So if you're interested in any of these vendors, you can access all of their official websites using these links. Thank you.